Good morning, everyone. Glad to be here to worship God together and to share some message which came from recently I learned from the Bible. You know, this year, the whole earth is facing a very difficult point. Weather change, we can see the North Atlantic Ocean, the ocean temperature is reaching to 38 degrees, which means already damaged the seabed creatures a lot. You can see lots of European countries are suffering very hot summer. And I believe that God's judgment is very near. As the Bible says, the day is near. As the Mark 13, we have shared last week, couple of weeks ago. But today, so because the time is near, because in the end of the age, we have not much time to do. So how do we live the rest of life, including the young baby? So today I'm going to share the question, how to spend our time efficiently and wisely. This morning I asked my children, should I use effectively or efficiently? I don't know, but my English is limited, but maybe you understand what my point is. So efficiently and wisely. Why I say this, I submit this question. There's a very fairness for us. Even you are rich or you're poor, even you are healthy or are weak or sick, even you are tall or short, you're fat or slim. But everyone have two very equal things. Now, the first one, everyone will die. Will die. Everyone will die. Nobody can live forever, except our spiritual life. The second one is every day have 24 hours per day. It can't be because I'm younger than Andy. I will live longer per day for 48 hours. I couldn't. Only 24 hours, very fair. So how do we use our 24 hours? How do we spend our time efficiently and wisely? And can we save our time or waste the time? Ephesians, as John read that, be very careful how you live, not as unwise, but as wise. Making the most of every opportunity. This is an NIV version, or on some versions, they put the words, redeeming the time. Redeem, we know, when we spend a credit card, in the end, we got some points. We can redeem the points and change to another format. Redeem the time, because the day are evil. Today's day are very evil. Lots of attractions, worldly values, impact on our life. And also spend our life on these worldly values things. So Paul encouraged Britons, do not be foolish, but understand what the Lord's will is. Time is one of the most important things in your life. As the 1 Peter 4:7 says, the end of all things is near. The end of all things is near. Even this statement spoke in 2,000 years ago. But now we can find a lot of natural disasters, war, disease, pandemic, economic inflation or depression. All things occur. People attack the people, nation attack nation. Therefore, be alert and be sober mind so that you may pray. So we do need to pray to ask God, be merciful and save us. And also 2 Peter 3, verse 8 to 9. Peter focus on, with the Lord, a day is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years are like a day. But he also mentioned that instead, God is patient with you, not wanting everyone to perish, but everyone to come to repentance. This context reflecting what we read in Ephesians, make every opportunity. God is waiting for us, for those people who don't know God, to be retained. But point here is God's like 1,000 years a day, 1,000 years like a day. What does it mean? Well, from physics, we can see how do we define the year or day. When we define the year, it's basically the sun, the earth around the sun. Once we call it a year, that means from our point, our standard point is 365.25 days. That means we call 1 year, right? This is a normal knowledge. So we say we live in the earth, in this plane, around the sun, called 1 year. And say self-rotation is 1 day, 24 hours. But if we see another pictures, we are living the solar system. The near sun, the planet around the sun is called 1 year. The farthest planet around the sun, also from their point, is around about year. But if we see the further details, the Mercury, the year is equal to 87 or 90 days. Venus, we call 224 days as a year, but still not equal to 1 Earth year. Our Earth year is 365.25 or 26 per year. The farthest planets like Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and Uranus, Neptune, all these planets, they're so-called one around the sun, the 1 year equal to more than 1 Earth year. The farthest will be 284 Earth year. I raise this point is from our human beings' point, our 1 year, but from other side, particularly God created the universe in his mind. 1 year is different from our 1 year. Because that's why Peter mentioned that God likes a day like 1,000 years. So if we live in other planets, in that case, we live in 1 year. If we come back to the earth, we may be 100 years old. So from this point, time in God's sight is unlimited because God created time. And our day is 24 hours. This is a sun drive. We met human beings from ancient people, they measured time according to the shape of the stick. You remember in the Isaiah, the Judah's king, the king of Judah in the Sisca, his life near the end, but God gave him the son. God gave him more 15 years. So he has a throne for 29 years. But God shows his evidence. God put backward, the sun drill back to 10. So God controls time. In that case, Chinese people saying, I just read the Mandarin, but you can see the romantic pronunciation. 一寸光阴一寸金，寸金难买寸光阴, which literally means an inch sun shade on the sun drill is worth, spelling wrong, it should be WROTH. 1 ounce of gold, but an ounce of gold cannot buy that time. Figure of speech means time is so precious and must be treasured. You can't use your money to buy your time. Even like the richest people like Bill Gates, Elon Musk, they can't buy their time. They can't buy their time. They are billionaires. So why do we need to spend our time efficiently and wisely? Because as I presented previous, time created by God. God created time. God created everything. God created the universe. God created the sun. God created the stars. God created human being. God created every creature. If you do believe in creation. So when we say God created time, and also we say, love the Lord with your heart, with your soul, with your mind, and with your strength, of course. And also we love God's creation because we can't see God, but we can see God's creation. Because time is created by God, so we love the time is to love God. Also, God mentioned about with all your soul, your strength, your mind, your soul, your heart. Also, you love your neighbors. Love your neighbors, including love your brothers, your sisters, your family, your friends. This shows in Mark 29, 12, 29 to 31. Also show other reference, gospel and book. But love God with all your soul, your mind, your heart, your strength. The most important thing is glorify Him, glorify God. If we say God, we love God, but we do wrong things, we can't glorify God. That doesn't mean we love God. If we love God, but we don't love people or help people, that doesn't mean we love God. So love God in related to glorify God and love people. So in our limited time, doing meaningful things and efficient things are to glorify God and also to love others. Then later on, I will explain more. So what are meaningful and efficient things? For you, for me, in our life, what are meaningful and what are efficient things? Pursuing high socio-economic status, such as to win Nobel Prize, to be Vice Chancellor, as the former Vice Chancellor of University of Adelaide, his name already in the advertiser, his name is Warren Whittington. When he became the Vice Chancellor, Vice Chancellor, the first ceremony speech, he said, I become the Vice Chancellor, I will make all tutorial group and shrink tutorial group number from 30 to 15. He said it, he promised that, but he speak in Latin. Nobody understands what he said. But then translate to English and post on my uni homepage. And everybody argued that. You say you put 30 students in one tutorial group from 30 to 15. But in reality, I was teaching 15 students in one tutorial group. And once he became Vice Chancellor, I teach the number from one tutorial from 15 to 40. He's wasting his time and also wasting our time. To be CEO or to become Prime Minister or American or other country president, have a high socio-economic status, or to be high-level officials or managers, or to be billionaires. Pursuing these high socio-economic status is kind of meaningful. In fact, and these successes are not really to glorify God, nor love people, because these successes are based on self-pride and to show off one's mostly. So what I mean by glorify God and to help people or love people? Simply, I use the Micah 6:8. What is good? What is good? Simply, to act justly and to love mercy and to walk humbly with your God. 3 elements: justly, act justly, love with mercy, and work humbly working with our God. That is glorify God. And that is help people, show our love to the people. Doing this, that means meaningful life. Doing this, that will be very effective, efficiently, and wisely. So how do we spend our time efficiently and wisely? Let me think of ourselves. How many hours do we sleep daily? Since I retired from the 1st of July this year, I found the most difference between working and the retirement is I can sleep as long as I want. I don't worry about when I woke up, I have to rush to work and to catch the bus or find some parking area. And for get a parking area in the city, I have to pay $86. But if I take the car, because I have a senior car, I can get free. So I have to figure out, I will start after 9 o'clock in the off-peak. I can save the money. But more importantly, do I need to sleep longer than that if I want? How do I spend our time to sleep? And how many hours are we spending on like working, particularly everybody work busy for our work, our job? How many hours spent on eating? Some people can sit there very relaxedly eating their food, maybe 2 or 3 hours, particularly in Europe. Italian, French, they are very enjoying their meals longer. Eat Spanish or spend many hours on eating. Shopping, I don't like shopping. I just like to think about what kind of material I want to buy, go into the department or shop, 20 minutes off. But some people will stay there more than 2 hours, but nothing can buy. And I can find some beautiful lady choose many clothes. I'm not judging. I just say they choose 30 clothes, beautiful clothes. In the end, they pick the first one. It's real, right? It's our life. It's our life. How many hours we spend on chatting? I remember when I was young, my mom went out to buy some food in the market, traditional market. When she went out to our front door, she met our opposite side neighbor because we are living in an apartment in Taiwan. So they start chatting, and they said, "Oh, we just take for 5 minutes." So I started. They start around about 8:30. So I went to my school. When I come back, they still stand there to chat, and that was 12:30. So how many hours we spend on chatting? Sporting, we love sport. We love exercises. And how many hours we spend on that? We like relaxing. We stand there, nothing to do, or watching TV, or watching movies, or sing the song. How many hours take bathing? I have a friend, when he came to Australia, he enjoyed bathing. So he take a bath, 30 minutes. So landlord spend a lot of time, a lot of water. So landlord regulate her. You only have 5 minutes to shower. Study, social activities, extra. So many hours we spend our daily life. But how many hours, minutes do we pray to God? Do we read the Bible daily? I can find our daily schedule is very busy. Everybody's busy. So we woke up, prepare our breakfast or lunch, and then rushly go to our office or our working place. And then after we work hard, very hard back home, all tired. Finish dinner and then take some rest and go to bed. No more Bible connection, no more family altar, no more family worship. And how many hours or minutes spent to connect with our brethren? And how many hours are we using social media's device daily? Once I have entered the bus, I can find many people, not everyone, many people, they just bow their head to play their mobile phone. Some people watching the TV, some people watching the video, some people watching the YouTube, some people watching, I don't know how many people can read Bibles in the bus. We have only 24 hours. How do we spend our time? How do we spend our time? So I submit 3 style life. The first lifestyle is a simple life if we want to efficiently or wisely use our time. Second style lifestyle is a godly life. The third one is a wise life. Have a simple life. Is work for living or living for work. Work for living is for surviving. Living for work is our career. Medical doctors have a high salary, but medical doctor, their goal of their life, their working is for their life, to save life, to help the patients, patients to overcome their difficulties. This is the career. Sometimes we may so busy become blindness. And so blindness become less vision and less joy, and then aimlessness. In Mandarin, we have 3 characters indicate busy, blind, and aimless. The same characters, but different characters, but the same pronunciation. We call Wang. Busy, physically. Blindness, mentally. Aimless, soul. If our soul doesn't have any end in our life, we just like a flies without head. There's a Chinese idiom. Without head, a fly, they have no ends. Or a fly stuck on the window. The future is bright, but no excess. So we need to know why we're busy for, what we're busy for. Once we're so busy, we may neglect something more important than our business. Once we lose our focus, our life becomes endless. So in that case, have the simple life is to avoid some unnecessary, which we have to define, is necessary or unnecessary. Some social activities. We need to learn how to say no. 2 Timothy 3, 1-5. I won't read all scriptures. I'll just highlight terrible things in the last days, particularly this modern society. We have so many information from every channel, newspaper, advertisement, TV, movie, or social media activities. So many information, so many data, we don't know how to choose. So we need to know this is the evil time. And so many evil things occurred in these scriptures. And those people have these characters. Paul encouraged Timothy that have nothing to do with such people. In other words, we need to live free from these characters. If these people have these characters, we need to be wise to turn to know. Have a godly life. Godly life is to be holy, which means to separate from the whole world or worldly values. Say 1 Timothy 4, 7-8 and 6, 3-8. 1 Timothy 4, 7-8 mentioned about train yourself to be godly, not to train others to be godly, because this spiritual training comes from ourselves per se. We need to train ourselves to be godly. To be godly is to approach God rather than to approach the world. Because godly has value for all things. We know God's will because when we read the first slides from Ephesians 5, we need to know what Lord's will is. And holding the promises for both the present life and life to come. Our present life clearly tells us we have only 24 hours per day. We have only 24 hours per day. 1 Timothy 6, 3-8. Here also indicate I use a green color to highlight all this is related to the evil things, related to against the God's will. It's kind of worldly value. And this worldly value, theoretically or basically, shouldn't occur in our Christian character. Because godly with contaminant is great again. Why we were so busy, some people may have the mindset that to pursue more wealth. That's as a former Rockefeller founder, John, and I don't know his first name, but John Rockefeller. Once he was visited in New York, the mass media asked me, Mr. Rockefeller, you are so rich. When will you stop, or when you stop your earning money? And John Rockefeller says, just a little bit more. That's not content, not be content. People want more, right? But how degree or to what extent of contentment is depend on ourselves. Different people have different demand. As a wise life, Colossians 4:5, again, is related to Ephesians 5. Be wise in the way you act toward outsider. Be wise, because we can communicate with outsider. Make the most of every opportunity, because as a redeeming the time. Some outsider, they just challenge or play with us. If we found these people have this character, we need to be aware they are wasting our time. They are playing. I have one very close American missionary. He went back to America, to Louisiana. He told me a true story. He organized an institution to help many overseas students come to the church. Initially, once the overseas, I don't mention which countries, but this overseas student came to Louisiana. The whole church, they have 500 brethren in that congregation, mobilized to help these overseas students for 3 months, settle them, find and settle accommodation, buy some secondhand furniture, and help them to make every detailed life in that new environment. But once these overseas students, they satisfy or demand their demand, they won't come back again. So that's why we need to put our seeds into a good soil. That won't waste our time. A good soil will grow up 30 times, 60 times, 100 times. But we spread our seed to those rocky places with fronds, with brushes, then we will lose our energy and waste our time. How do we tell this good soil or bad soil? We need God's wisdom. We need to follow God's rule to spend our time efficiently and wisely. In other words, what is the most priority things? Jesus says in Matthew 6:21, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. We can find the outsider, their heart, find what they are chasing for. Where their treasure is, where their hearts will be also. Then we can use our time efficiently and wisely. And what is real meaningful before we adopt any actions? Should we pray first and think about an efficient and a reasonable way? What I mean by reasonable way? I can't handle 24 hours for one person. How can I use my time efficiently? When we plan to do something, can we just hit or grasp the point directly? And can we avoid to go around and around as big or around or about the bush? We need to find, that's God's wisdom. We need to find what's the point we have to do. How do we organize our daily life? We have only 24 hours a day. Some unnecessary activities can we cut off? Can we transfer the time to do our more meaningful, more directly, more efficiently job? It really depends on our value. How do we have a wise life? It really depends on our value and our judgment. And this judgment and our value, which come from God's wisdom, God's teaching, which on the Bible, and the knowledge, When Daniel was young, I'm not embarrassing him. When he was young, he attended his classmate's party. I give him not order, advice. If the host asks him, "What do you want to drink?" I give you 3 seconds. If no answer, just water. Because 3 seconds, you can impact on host and let him or she waste the time. 3 seconds. Because when you attended a party, you must understand what kind of drink, what kind of food, what kind of dessert you want in your mind. You have to design, think about it in advance, particularly the traffic time. That's to save your time. And also, if we focus on what is the value, we will spend much more on personal achievement and social connection than spiritual connection. And this spiritual connection, which including worship, church service, Bible study, Brethren-'s fellowship, including sisters' brethren fellowship, and evangelism. Of course, evangelism can be a group or can be individual. And also evangelism is not only say words, but your example can be a kind of evangelism. Because people can see we love each other. Once you come to the congregation, they can find we are loving each other. And this shows God's love to unbelievers. This kind of evangelism. Sometimes evangelism doesn't mean you have to say, you have to do. Behavior teaching is more than important word teaching. For doing spiritual connection, spend our time efficiently. After all, each one has only 24 hours per day. So we do need to spend our time wisely. As the physical family and spiritual family, if one body or family wastes the time, it would impact on others. Just as my son, I say 3 seconds, you can save other people's time. So if one, as the 1 Corinthians 12 says, if one part suffers, every part suffers with it. If one part is honored, every part rejoices with it. Therefore, it's necessary to keep our schedule on time. And that may discipline through self-control and family teaching. And talking about self-control, Herman had a Bible study last week, a couple of weeks ago. He mentioned about what kind of self-control. He said he has a very close brother, but this brother has short temper. And every time he had very easy to be angry. So he prayed to God. God, give me patience. God, let me patience now. So what I mean by self-control? Self-control is to think about what I do, what am I doing hurt other people. If my doing hurt other people, according to the principle of love, I won't do it. I won't do it. It's kind of basic self-control. Of course, if some people want to hear my experience about self-control and family training, maybe another topic in the future. Conclusion. Be very careful. And most every opportunity, making the most of every opportunity or redeem the time, because the days are evil. Understand what the Lord's will is. 1 Corinthians 9, 26, 27. Therefore, I don't run like someone running aimlessly. I do not fight like a boxer beating the air. We need a clear goal. We need efficient timing. We need wisely choose what time we should do. Have a simple life. Have a godly life. Have a wise life to spend our time efficiently and wisely. Thank you.